Hi everyone and welcome to our webinar, Data Meets Digital Home, Smarter Targeting, Measurable Results. My name is Lara Lima and I'm part of the marketing team here at StackAdapt. Before we dive in, I wanted to cover a few housekeeping items. If you have any questions you would like to ask the presenters, there's a Q&A box on the right side of your screen. We try and answer as much as we can during the Q&A session at the end, but if we can't get to yours today, don't worry, we'll follow up with an answer through email. I also wanted to mention that this session is being recorded and will be shared with you later. So before we dive in, I actually have a treat for you. Check out the top right corner of your screen to find our digital home advertising guide. It is packed with everything you need to know about one of the fastest growing ad channels, what it is, why it works, and how to seamlessly add it to your strategy. Now it is time to dive into the good stuff. I am thrilled to hand it over to our expert presenters, Venus Wong from StackAdapt and Adam Powell from Adsquare, who will walk you through how data and digital home come together to drive smarter targeting and measurable results. Venus, Adam, please take it away.
Thanks, Laura. Great to be here today. So I'm Adam Powell, the subject matter expert for location intelligence at Adsquare, where I help brands and marketers unlock the potential of location data to create more precise, contextual, and impactful campaigns.
Hey everyone, my name is Venus and I work on the solutions team here at StackAdapt. Part of my role involves enhancing our location-based solutions by integrating new features into the StackAdapt platform. I specialize in optimizing foot traffic studies and developing effective in-store marketing strategies. Now let me quickly introduce StackAdapt. We're a multi-channel digital advertising platform designed for marketers who want to stay ahead of the curve. Our platform combines advanced AI and machine learning with intuitive user experiences, making it easy to plan, manage, and optimize data-driven campaigns across all devices and inventory. In short, we help marketers deliver smarter, more impactful advertising.
And just a little bit about Adsquare. So Adsquare is the leading location intelligence company, offering a powerful suite of solutions across analytics, activation, measurement, and attribution. So we're built for advertisers and transform real-world consumer insights into actionable strategies, enabling precise targeting and optimization across omni-channel campaigns.
Now, with that brief introduction, let's jump right into today's webinar with a quote from Bill Bernbach. Nobody counts the number of ads you run. They just remember the impression you make. This quote here captures the essence of what we aim to achieve with digital home advertising. In an era saturated with ads, it's not about flooding people's views with repetitive messages. It's about creating moments that stand out, moments that spark something memorable and meaningful in real life. So by strategically placing ads on large format panels and at points of sales, we create natural, memorable experiences that feel like a part of the environment. With digital home, we're not just aiming for visibility, we're aiming for impact. Each exposure sparks curiosity and builds brand presence, leaving a lasting impression that goes beyond another ad. Today, we'll explore how data-driven targeting and actionable measurement are shaping the future of digital home and driving campaign performance. And then, as always, we'll wrap it up with a Q&A. So if at any point you have any questions, please do ask using the chat on this side. We'll try our best to address them at the end. And now I'll hand it off to Adam to talk about Adsquare's location data for digital home success.
Thanks, Venus. So firstly, just a quick overview of Adsquare data itself. So as we all know, location intelligence is central to creating relevant, impactful campaigns. And Adsquare's products and solutions, be that analytics, activation, measurement, or attribution, are underpinned by three core data types. So we have movement data, audience data, and spatial data. So our movement data allows us to understand consumers' daily journeys and destinations, and this is raw end-user location data connected to mobile advertising like these, with a timestamp and a lat long to show where and when people have been seen. We have our audience data, which allows us to pinpoint unique audience characteristics and behaviours. So these are audience segments, again, connected to mobile advertising IDs, such as demographics, the app usage, or any geo-behavioral data. And then finally, we have the spatial data. So this is used to contextualize ad placements based on the surroundings. So this is segmented offline data describing the context of a geographic area, like specific locations, their census information, or weather data. So just to quickly touch on the movement data in a bit more detail. Movement data allows us to understand those consumer journeys, as you were saying, and the movement patterns. At Adsquare, we have the largest sample of unbiased and consented location signals globally. So by leveraging data from location-enabled apps, we can provide a representative example of approximately 22% of the global smartphone population, with 97 location signals per user daily. So this allows us to create a really clear view of mobility patterns across the day. Now, the use of location data and location-based data for tracking and targeting can raise significant privacy concerns for brands and clients. So regulations like GDPR in Europe and the CCPA in the US restrict how companies can collect, store, and use personal data, especially for location-based tracking. So Adsquare ensure that all data is collected with explicit consumer consent for the intended uses. So this meets all the regulatory requirements at the outset. By embedding those privacy measures throughout our data lifecycle, Adsquare can process location data more responsibly, reduces the risks associated with personal data handling for our clients. Next, I want to touch on our points of interest data. So the points of interest data we provide gives you access to actual building footprints. So rather than simply a lat long sort of dot on a map with a generic radius where the store is located, so this allows you to have a definitive concrete outline of a building. So this allows you far greater precision when it comes to visit matching to these locations. So that points of interest data is overlaid against our movement data, and that's where that visit matching occurs. So these 2D polygons of the store locations ensure results from the measurement of visits to these locations are far more precise. So as we're monitoring devices specifically within the confines of an actual store footprint, rather than just that general radius around a dot for a location, which can often capture areas outside of the actual store premises. That could be adjacent businesses, it could be a main street nearby, or other public spaces. And that can lead to incorrectly attributing any of that nearby activity as a store visit, and that can end up skewing results and any subsequent learnings. So using Adsquare data, brands are able to identify where their target audience is, which digits out of home frames they're exposed to, and when this exposure is happening. This is all backed up with statistical and contextual data in a privacy-compliant way. So by leveraging both geocontextual and audience attribute insights, Adsquare and their clients are able to identify target audiences and ensure that they're reached with effective and tailored messaging, all within contextually relevant locations. So I want to touch on a couple of these approaches for doing this. So the first is ID precise targeting, and this is where planners are able to target individuals based on a specific audience characteristic. So that could be demographics, could be interest or brand affinities, purchase intent, or any of the range of other audience segments Adsquare has available. So by identifying that target audience and their mobility patterns around out-of-home frames, you're able to identify which of those frames have over-indexed versus your chosen audience. Essentially, which of your frames is better at reaching your target audience for your campaign message. So in the example here, where we're looking at targeting those with an interest in consumer electronics, with an ID precise targeting, we can combine tech enthusiasts with users who have recently been to an electronics store and identify which out-of-home frames they've been exposed to and which index highly against this audience. These frames can then be selected and pushed for activation for the campaign. Secondly, we have our geocontextual targeting. Here, planners are able to target out-of-home frames in locations which align with their campaign objectives to ensure maximum relevance and impact of the messaging. So this can be across elements such as census data about that physical location, it could be places data or weather information. So in this example here, we see a fashion brand who's looking to leverage dynamic creative optimization to adapt their campaign messaging to real-time weather conditions. So you could be promoting summer styles on sunny days and waterproof attire on rainy days. So you're just always enhancing that relevance and the campaign appeal. Now, using Adsquare's out-of-home planner solution, users are able to combine these ID-precise and geo-contextual strategies across planning and activation, all within a user-friendly, map-centric UI. So our out-of-home planner was launched in 2019, has been continuously developed with and for our users. So with customizable indexing, reach and inventory filtering alongside dynamic historic look-back windows and first and third-party data integration capabilities, the planner empowers users to optimize towards the best performing inventory to reach their target audience, whatever those campaign parameters might be. So by leveraging that audience, location, and spatial data, you can precisely target your desired audiences based on their demographics, their real-world location, and contextual relevance, optimizing the digital out-of-home advertising campaigns for maximum effectiveness.
All right, thank you, Adam. So at StackAdapt, we offer precise targeting beyond the billboard. It all starts with the planning stage. At StackAdapt, our digital home forecasting tool allows you to gain insights into how your digital home campaigns are likely to perform. This is based on inputs like geography, inventory packages, budget, and CPM. Our tool shows available venues and impressions on an interactive map. You can then refine the targeting with various options, for example, reaching users in specific locations, selecting venue types, or using strategies like weather triggers. And by combining Adsquare's digital home planning tool with our digital home forecasting tool, StackAdapt's inventory team can layer Adsquare's location-based audience insights to help you identify who's likely to pass by your ads, enabling more precise digital home campaign planning. By combining the tools, you can pinpoint areas with high foot traffic and select venues with strong visitor profiles, allowing for a more targeted campaign. So, how can you integrate digital home into a full funnel multi-channel strategy? It honestly starts with engaging exposed audiences. So, retargeting those who've already seen your digital home ads help maximize ad spend and drives further action from individuals with prior brand exposure. Repeated exposure across channels solidify brand recall, increasing likelihood of brand recognition and trust, especially in a competitive landscape. Plus, retargeting exposed audiences have been proven to increase conversion rates, as these audiences are more likely to respond to ads due to prior familiarity. This approach ensures a consistent message across devices, creating a seamless experience that guides them through the customer journey. So, how do we go about engaging exposed audiences? So, first, we would retarget across devices. So, reach users who've seen your digital home ads by retargeting them across multiple channels. With AdSquare's location data, we can identify exposed audiences and extend engagement on native, video, display, and CTV channels. Second, we can use sequential messaging. So, guide customers through their journey with tailored messaging across devices. So, start with brand awareness using our digital out of home channel, then follow up with personalized ads on mobile, desktop, and CTV to reinforce your brand and drive conversions. Third, leverage real-time audience segmentation. So leverage AdSquare's real-time data to create dynamic retargeting segments based on location and exposure. This will keep your brand top of mind with timely ads that appear shortly after users see your digital home ads. This will improve brand recall and relevance. Finally, we can create consistent cross-channel experiences. So we can engage users across multiple touchpoints to reinforce brand memory and increase the chance of conversion. A consistent, cohesive brand experience across channels builds trust, credibility, and keeps your messages relevant. So to summarize, engaging exposed audiences start with retargeting. At StackAdapt, we can retarget device IDs provided by Adsquare to reach users who've seen your digital home ads across multiple channels like native, display, video, CTV, audio, and in-game, maximizing your campaign impact. Now imagine you're a retail brand launching a new line of eco-friendly clothing. Here's a full funnel strategy I'd recommend. So in the awareness stage, the goal is to grab attention and make a lasting impression. Start with digital home campaigns in high traffic areas like busy downtown streets or near popular malls. Use real-time data to keep your messaging fresh and relevant. So for example, promoting cozy sweaters or scarves on a chilly day. This ensures your ad resonates with the moment and the audience. To expand your reach, add more channels to the mix. So CTV and audio ads are fantastic for building brand recall, reaching people when they're relaxing or on the go. Consistency is the key here. Make sure your visuals, storytelling, and tone are aligned across all channels to create a seamless, memorable brand experience. And once you've built awareness, it's time to retarget that audience across different channels. Native ads are perfect for reinforcing your message in a subtle, non-intrusive way. In addition to social ads, I would definitely recommend display ads. They're highly effective, offering precise targeting and scalable reach. For example, you can deliver personalized ads highlighting limited time offers or glowing customer reviews, keeping your brand top of mind and nudging your audience towards action. Now let's bring a full funnel strategy to life with a real world example. Octopus Energy, a global energy provider, teamed up with StackAdapt for a digital home campaign in Spain to promote their services in key cities. They kicked off with strategic planning, securing premium ad placements in high traffic areas, resulting in a 2.7 million impressions within budget. They also leveraged StackAdapt's Creative Studio to develop interactive HTML display ads. These creatives align perfectly with the brand's messaging and campaign goals, driving further engagement. Now, to drive more traffic, reach, and engagement, they use display and native ads to retarget people who have already seen the digital home ads. And thanks to StackAdapt's integration with Adsquare, they track device IDs of those exposed to the digital home ads, enabling effective retargeting. This led to a 0.73% click-through rate, but with audiences who engage across all three channels, which are digital home, display, and native, they reached a click-through rate as high as 3.3%. So why did this campaign work so well? It wasn't just about getting the ads out there. It was about connecting the audiences at every touch point. By combining standout digital home placements, creative ads that really grabbed attention, and smart retargeting strategies, Octopus Energy didn't just hit their goals. They knocked it out of the park and set the tone for future success. Now, how do we go about proving our digital home campaigns are making an impact? Here are some studies we can use to measure the impact of your digital home campaign. So one of them being spike lift analysis, which measures the immediate increase in activity after a digital home ad is displayed. There's also foot traffic, which tracks the number of people visiting a location after seeing your digital home ad to measure in-store visits. Brand lift is also another measurement study that we can run that measures the changes in consumer perceptions or awareness. And lastly, there's sales lift, which tracks the direct impact of your digital out-of-home campaign on sales. Now let's take foot traffic as an example. Footfall attribution connects users exposed to your digital home campaign to actual store visits. By tracking this data, you can see how effective your programmatic advertising is in driving customers to your location of interest. This insights helps you optimize your strategy to increase foot traffic over time. Now, how does it work? So Adsquare provides StackAdapt with location data on users who have been exposed to your campaign. These are users who have consented to share their location and were near the specified digital home venues while your ads were being displayed. Adsquare also shares data on the users who were at your location of interest. If a user who saw your ad then visits your location of interest, it's counted as an attributed visit. This allows you to measure how effectively your digital home campaigns drives real-world visits. Taking a look at what our reporting includes in our footfall attribution solution is media costs, impressions served, campaign attributed visits, conversion rate, cost per visit, time to first visit, and total visits by location, campaign, and creative. And now we've reached the end of our presentation, so let's summarize some key takeaways. When it comes to targeting, we should use advanced location intelligence and geo-contextual data to reach the right audience at the right time and place for maximum impact. Then reinforce your brand message by engaging users across multiple devices and platforms, which should boost recall and conversion rates. Finally, measure digital home campaign success in real time with studies like footfall attribution, allowing you to optimize instantly and improve ROI.
Thank you so much, Venus and Adam, for that insightful presentation. Now we're moving into the Q&A portion of today's webinar. So if you haven't already, feel free to drop your questions into the Q&A box on the right side of the screen. As a reminder, if we don't get to yours today, don't worry, you get an answer via email. Okay, so let's dive in. First question, for seasonal campaigns like those for holidays, how far in advance should you start planning to ensure DOOH ads are fully optimized?
I can take this one. So I'd recommend planning at least a month in advance, if not earlier, especially during high demand periods like holidays. This allows you to identify the right screens in the locations you want to target and secure your desired inventory. From a programmatic perspective, it's important to first assess what types of screens are available in your target locations. So once that's all mapped out, you can reach out to our StackAdapt inventory team about 2 weeks before launch to confirm availability and finalize your selections. Something to keep in mind is that digital home inventory is often prioritized for direct buys, so availability can shift as your launch date approaches. So starting early ensures you to have the flexibility to adapt and lock in placements for a successful campaign.
Thank you so much, Venus. Planning ahead is really key, especially during the holiday season. So let's move on to the next question. Adam, I think this one is for you. Can Adsquare's targeting solution integrate with specific demographic segments such as age groups or income levels?
Yep, I can take that one. It's a great question. So yes, Adsquare's targeting solutions allow for both ID precise and geo-contextual targeting, both in isolation or combined. So we can leverage any of the thousands of Adsquare audience data sets, as well as creating custom segments as required for those campaigns that require those more bespoke audiences. So additionally, relevant client first-party data can also be utilized for targeting where it's made available. So as you say, age groups and income levels or gender can be integrated, but also any other data sets like app usage, brand affinity, or purchase intent on top of those more standard demographics. So 18 to 34 high income Netflix streamers, for example.
Thank you. That was indeed a great question. And thank you for all those great insights, Adam. We have one more, and Venus, I think this one is for you. What is the optimal time frame for running a footfall attribution study, and how does the duration of the campaign impact the reliability of the results?
Great question. So I think the ideal time frame for footfall attribution studies depends on factors like the business type and your campaign goals. So generally speaking, we recommend about a month. A longer time frame may like dilute the focus of the analysis, or if you have a shorter time frame, it could introduce bias, especially if there's temporary spikes in foot traffic. So the goal here is to really find like a sweet spot where you can gather enough data for reliable insights without losing sight of the campaign's main impact.
Really interesting insights on footfall attribution timelines. Okay, so let's dive into the next question. How does Adsquare manage privacy compliance while measuring real-time footfall attribution?
Yeah, so I can take this one. So consent and privacy compliance is essentially at Adsquare's core of everything that we do. So we integrate privacy by design principles into our data processing architecture. This allows us to comply robustly with regulations like GDPR and CCPA, as I was mentioning before, but all the while maintaining high quality and actionable data insights. So we ensure that all the data is collected with explicit consumer consent for the specific use cases we use that data for. So not only are we getting consent, but for the actual reasons that it's being used. So unlike solutions that anonymize data at the expense of granularity, Adsquare can offer precise, high quality insights globally and at scale without violating those privacy norms.
Absolutely. Privacy is such an important topic these days. Thank you so much, Adam, for clarifying how Adsquare handles this. And I think we have time for one last question. Venus, I think this one is for you as well. If a digital home campaign isn't performing as expected, what are the first steps you recommend for troubleshooting and optimization?
So I'll start off with troubleshooting. So for troubleshooting, I'll recommend checking out our drop-off funnel tool in platform. It helps you see how each campaign parameter is affecting delivery and identifies areas to tweak, especially if like a campaign is struggling. Another tip is to use our digital home forecasting tool to revisit the planning stage. This lets you check availability and adjust impressions if you need to increase reach. And for the second part about optimization, so for digital home campaign optimization purposes, I'd recommend splitting out campaigns by venue types and be able to be fluid with your budgets between each line item, as CPMs can vary at times. So for example, large formats tend to sell out faster, so you might want to bid higher. But if you're not pacing, it's probably sold out direct. That's why I recommend keeping the budget flexible across each campaign line item.
Thank you so much, Venus and Adam. That brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you found it as insightful and engaging as I did, with plenty of valuable takeaways to apply to your own strategy. Keep an eye for your inbox. We'll be sending the recording tomorrow. And if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you so much for joining us, and do have a wonderful day.